Good evening. Welcome to the November 9th, 2021 meeting of the Pequannock Township Council. Ms. Marsh?
In accordance with the requirements of New Jersey's Open Public Meetings Act, notice of this meeting was included in the annual meeting notice, which was filed in the office of the Township Clerk, posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building, published as legal notice in the Suburban Trends newspaper, and distributed to all persons requesting notice in accordance with Township policy.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by a prayer and a moment of thanks for individuals serving our nation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Most gracious Providence, we ask that you bless this governing body with an abundance of wisdom and understanding, so that every deliberation will result in actions which will promote the common good and the general welfare for all the people of Pequannock Township. Amen.
Amen. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Dracy?
Present.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Here.
Mr. Hurd?
I am here.
Mr. Cole?
Here.
Mayor Russell?
Here.
We have a quorum.
There are no presentations scheduled for this evening. At this time, are there any reports or comments from any of the volunteers serving our community? We're all good. The next item on the agenda is public comments. This public comment period will be limited to a total of 30 minutes. An additional period for public comment is reserved later in the meeting. Individuals are requested to limit their questions and comments to 3 minutes. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized to come to the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Mayor, would you like me to hold them back?
I know.
Got them?
Okay, the next item on our agenda is the manager's report. Mr. Brewer?
Thank you, Mayor. 3 quick items. The first is the council is aware the revised zoning ordinance was introduced on October 26th and referred to the planning board for a consistency review. My understanding is the planning board on November 1st deemed it to be consistent with the master plan. So we have a public hearing and potential adoption scheduled for November 23rd.
That was quick.
That was quick. The second item this evening for introduction is a revision to the township's towing or wrecker ordinance. There was some reason for review that was undertaken by Mr. Osteich, the police department, and myself, and a proposed revision is offered for the council's consideration. The revised ordinance has a number of towers, which is now limited to 4. The current ordinance does not have a numerical limit. The new ordinance calls for the license for towers or wreckers to be issued annually by the council. The anticipation is to do this at reorganization. And then lastly, instead of a requirement to have a yard or facility with which vehicles can be stored within the municipal limits of the Township of Pequannock, there is now an opportunity for towers or wreckers to have such yard, or said yard, within a 5-mile radius of the municipal building. So, again, these were reviewed and recommended by the group that studied it. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to take them now or later.
Well, I know that comes up every couple of years with the towing, and we used to have a number, didn't we? And we did have a number, and then it used to be just in town, then we had out of town, but
I like the 5-mile radius.
I thought we had that 5-mile radius before.
I think 5 miles is kind of a lot. I mean, 5 miles brings you to William Patterson College, it brings you to Wanacue. I mean, people are going to have to drive 30 minutes to go get their car. It seems crazy, but that's my opinion. I just did it on Google Maps before I came. 5 miles, you'd be surprised how far it is. I mean, it hits William Patterson College. That's 5 miles.
I think the problem was, and correct me if I'm wrong, is there wasn't enough facilities that had storage in town, and you had to allow them to go out. And it's like, okay, so what is it? 2 miles, 3 miles, 5 miles? I guess somebody studied it and came up with the 5 miles. But I was just surprised that we didn't have a number of limits. For some reason, I think we did.
We did it one time. I don't know. And we've also lost track of having the council approve of licenses every year, and it just kind of rolled over from year to year. And we just nobody complains that we didn't do anything.
It's good to review it.
It just worked.
I got a couple questions on that, Bob.
Yeah.
Not only is 5 miles miles, 30 minutes for somebody to pick up the car. But if you have an accident down and the person's in Wanacue, you're waiting 30 minutes for the tow truck to arrive. But the question that I really have is, New Jersey used to regulate towing. Now it's up to each individual municipalities. Are we setting a rate? What they can charge, or what they can charge for storage? Because that is up to us
We
to
can't.
set that rate.
Yeah, the state does set a rate because it applies to state highways and so forth. and
But does
we
not
generally
set a
follow
rate
it. Right,
for
we can
municipalities.
adopt their rate, or we can make changes to that. And we can do that.
Because I do not want someone that has an accident in town
Yeah, to be charged an unfair rate.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Storage, inside storage, outside storage, cleanup, towing, that should all be set, what they
We
can.
can look at that. That's sort of a separate
That's not part
issue
of
that we have, but we can certainly do that while we're talking about this, get a rate schedule together. Other towns do that, our neighboring towns do
Yeah,
that.
we
rate
used to
schedules.
have that, I think. years
I'm
ago.
not sure that we
No,
don't.
I'm fine, I just don't want somebody to get
Yeah.
gouged.
Yeah,
Right. But we can approve this as a separate thing?
yeah, we can. We can move forward with this, because we may want to look at that and study that a little bit. And this we've really studied a while now, and need to move on it, because
Okay.
Just
we're
towing
coming
is
into a
like
new year.
a three-ring circus, right?
Yeah.
The ordinance currently points to Chapter 152 of the code fees, which is not included in
Which I
what was
think
passed out
might
to the
be
council.
our fee, though, Adam.
That's, okay.
For the tower's license. I don't know. We can
Okay.
look at that.
I thought we approved that a year or two ago. We went over fees.
Yeah, you did.
I thought we did.
We'll look at that issue. We'll look at that,
Okay.
Councilman, and see what the story is. And if so, we'll study that and come back with a recommendation. I agree. We should, most towns are setting fees now.
Yeah.
Yeah, service rates, the fee schedule for basic automobile towing services
Yeah, we did
pursuant to
that at one
NJSA
time.
40, so on and so forth.
Okay, so we
provided in
refer
Chapter
to the
152
state rate.
fees. And again, it references provided in Chapter 152 fees.
Yeah, I just remember we had gone through that one time.
Yeah. And the last item is just using fees as a good segue. The Parks and Recreation Department undertook a review of programmatic fees about a year ago, based upon what happened, I guess 2 years ago maybe at this point. With COVID, we never really took a lot of action on that, so I'm anticipating the discussion on those fees on December 14th. And again, that's for program registration, including things like PB Park memberships. So a presentation we made to the council. We may have other fees from other departments to try to do it all at once, but I know we will definitely have Parks and Recreation programmatic fees to talk about. Unless there's any other questions, that's my report.
Anyone?
Nope.
There are no public hearings scheduled for this evening. Next on the agenda is the introduction of ordinances. Ms. Marsh?
This is ordinance number 2021-17, an ordinance to amend Chapter 352 of the Code of the Township of Pequannock and updating license requirements for wreckers.
Mr. Brewer, any comment?
Nothing further unless there's additional questions.
Are there any comments from council?
Just the one question, I mean, who came up with the 5 miles? I'm just stuck on this thing. It just seems like way too far.
5 miles seems like too far.
But just because, 1, if you're waiting for a truck, 2, you gotta go drive for a truck, right? 3, if they charge you per mile, and 5 mile as the crow flies might be 10 miles on the street. So then they're paying extra. I mean, is 5 miles typical? Or is...
I'd say 5 miles is typical.
We discussed it among the group and kind of kicked around a couple of things, and it just seems common.
It just seems a little far, but...
Is it 5 miles as the crow flies?
Yeah, it says 5 mile
Radius around the municipality.
I would imagine the 2 towers that we have now, they're gonna still be interested, and then we'll probably get maybe 1, maybe 2.
That's the thought process.
Because it's rotation.
It's a rotation.
What is the
Which is why we
rotation?
put a
Is it
limit
weekly
on
or is it monthly?
That's up, the police department can decide which they prefer to do.
Yeah.
But the point of the point of putting a limit on the numbers is if you allow too many, then it's not going to be profitable for anybody and you won't get anybody.
Yeah.
So you try to come up with, you really can't say 1.
That's a good idea, yeah, 4 is a good number.
Yeah, so 4 seems like a reasonable number here to make it fair to everybody, although we may not get 4.
Right.
We might only get 3.
We might only get 3.
But
Or 2, who knows?
We might only get 2.
Right.
Yeah.
Is there a motion to introduce this ordinance on first reading?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Roll call?
Mr. Dreesy?
Yes.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Russell?
Yes.
Motion passes.
The next agenda item is resolutions. Ms. Marsh.
Beginning with Resolution R 2021-221, establishing meeting dates for the year 2022. This is way too many 2022s. R 2021-222, establishing the date of the 2022, I can't remember to be able to say this, reorganization meeting. R 2021-223, confirming the designated memberships in the Pequannock Township Fire Department. Those are junior firefighters Caden Chase and John Eglar. 224, canceling 2021 current fund budget appropriations. 225, authorizing the transfer of 2021 current fund budget appropriations. 226, authorizing the transfer of 2021 recreation utility budget appropriations. 227, authorizing tax office refunds, overpayments, or cancellations. And R 2021-228, approving payment of the itemized claims as set forth on the November 4th, 2021 bill list.
Are there any comments on the resolutions from council? Is there a motion to adopt these resolutions?
I'll make a motion to adopt Resolution 2021-221 through 2021-22E.
Is there a second?
I'll make that. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Dreesy?
Yes.
Mrs. Florence Lynch?
Yes.
Mr. Hurd?
Yes.
Mr. Cole?
Yes.
Mayor Russell?
Yes. There are no items listed for discussion, and there are no reports or notices. The next item on our agenda is council reports and announcements. Councilman Derisi?
I'm first again. I didn't have any meetings, which is good. I'd just like to commend Ryan for running in the New York City Marathon. I think that's pretty cool. That's something I could never do.
Thank
I
you.
probably could, but I wouldn't.
I know you can.
And just a shout out to the Boy Scouts for collecting food, because I was actually over at the church this morning picking some stuff up for Newark, and there's a lot of food in there.
Yeah, there.
Yes.
Good job.
Agreed. Councilwoman Florence Lynch?
Just a couple of announcements. We all know Veterans Day is Thursday, November 11th, so I'm hoping we're all going to attend the PV school.
PV school.
Ceremony that starts at 10. We were talking before about the First Reformed Church is celebrating 250 years in Aquatic, so are we all attending the Saturday dinner?
Will you be there?
I'm planning on it.
Okay.
Yeah. And Ben Mara, again, is being honored for his 100th birthday on Sunday, November 28th at 9 a.m. at the Veterans Breakfast at the Pompton Lakes Elks Lodge. Mayor, I did get your email if you want.
I can make
go.
it. I thought I
good.
couldn't make it.
Perfect. So we'll be there. What else? I wasn't in attendance, but I know the mayor went to the grand opening, and I think somebody else went with you, and the ribbon cutting for this past Saturday for Patricia Ciavella. Do you know how to say her last name? No. Ciavella. Her business is divorce meditation and
Mediation.
I'm sorry.
They probably need meditation.
To get mediated. but
Divorce
yeah.
mediation and paralegal services. And that was right at 589 Turnpike, right? That was in Pumpkin Plain? Okay. So,
Her daughter actually owns the salon downstairs. Salon
really?
Sorrel. That's her daughter's salon.
Oh, wow.
Better if it was a wedding
Great.
chef.
So welcome, Patty. The Suburban Women's Club is holding their Tricky Tray this Friday at the Cosmopolitan, but they're sold out.
Are you going?
I am
I'm
going.
going. I'm a runner, too. Are you running?
Yeah,
You can run with me.
running and selling 50/50s.
What time is that?
So we wish them a real successful fundraiser.
Doors open at 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30. So that should be a nice event.
This is the
what else?
first one since COVID, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good for them.
So those
Same tickets from last year.
Oh,
Yeah, so that'll be a nice event. And some of us have been participating in the strategic planning process with the schools, so that's been a great exercise, working with the town administrators and the staff and the community and the board members. So, it's a great exercise in helping shape the future goals for the school district, so that's been interesting, although I don't think we're going to be able to attend the last session, because we'll be away, the third session, unless we go on the Zoom. You could Zoom it. let's see, what else? Economic Development Advisory Committee, they met since our last meeting. They're working on a group initiative with the Chamber of Commerce, and they'll be presenting something at the Chamber's November 18th meeting. And they're kind of working on some projects together, and then hopefully presenting some stuff to the council. If not by the end of the year, by the new year. And what else? Parks and Rec, they met as well. And the only thing that came up that they wanted me to check on is, I guess, the river cleanup for next year. They're looking at Saturday, April 19th for the mayor's river cleanup. And they just want to make sure there's no conflicts with that date, with anything else, because this year it was in November, right?
Right,
Or October.
because of, it was supposed to be in the spring, but then
Yeah,
they pushed it back.
so they want to move
because
it
of
back.
COVID.
So they just told me to bring that up. What else? And the committee and board applications for the town, they're due by December 17th at the very latest. So I guess anyone could reach out to either one of us or to Carol for an application. We'd love to, right? Is that the date we said? That's what I had on my...
We're meeting on the 16th, so
I was
I
going
would
to say, we have a
think...
meeting on the 16th.
All right, I had it in my calendar wrong. What did we put in
Just
for the
get 'em in-
deadline?
Just get them in now.
Yeah, get them in now.
I would say by the 15th.
All right, so by the 15th. That's it.
Councilman Hurd?
Thank you, Mayor. Let's see, I'll start with open
Do we
space.
call you Marathon Runner Hurd?
Marathon herd, yeah, that would work.
Marathon.
How many has that been that you did so far?
That was 14, and 15 comes up in January down in Disney. So,
Right.
Anybody want to join? It's only 26.2 miles or so, plus or minus.
Can I do it over like a year?
I was going to say, can I walk? And does it entail rides?
If you're, yeah. Anyway, so open space, I passed out a piece of paper. It was done by Kerry from Open Space that actually shows all the different trees that were planted 4 years ago now. It's amazing how time flies. We planted over 450 of them. I would say at least 80+% are still doing very well.
That's awesome.
So, great job. And it's very interesting. I mean, all those trees are here and native to the area, so I think Kerry did a great job, so I just want to give him a shout out. We talked about the rail trail. I was told it's still coming to town, like Santa, so it will be here. Apparently all the bids were rejected because something was written wrong with the bid. I'm sure Adam could talk on that.
Again?
No, this was the bid that was
Oh, because that already
a while
happened.
ago.
There's more bids going in soon.
They're receiving bids November 30th.
November 30th.
So we're waiting for the next round of bids to
Right.
come in.
Yeah, there were 80 questions as a result of the last bid round, so
Well, that's better than 100.
it's a larger project, so I think
It's getting there. Let's see, what else we have? Okay, so off to First Aid Squad. They have a new member, Cindy Valero. Her and her husband are actually going to be coming on the force, which is great. But we still need more members, so please sign up. I've got the calls for last month. October was 101 calls. Cedar Crest had 24 of them. And to date, the Pequannock First Aid Squad has done 728 calls. And it's not just calls. You know, they were at the marching band competition. They're going to be at the Cub Scouts Public Safety Night with police and Fire Company 1, Fire Company 2. That's going to be this Friday. So, you know, all of our volunteers keep on putting a ton of time in, not only to do the job, but all these other ancillary things that everybody asks them to do. So, you know, number one, thank you very much to all of our first responders. I really appreciate it. And we got to figure out a way to give them a little more love than just, you know, thank yous. Yes. Huh?
Marching band.
Marching band. I am getting to that.
Okay.
I was going to end on that one,
Okay.
you know? But before that, Pancake Breakfast. Pancake Breakfast is going to be with Santa, which is great. $5 per person, 5 to 10 years old, and $10 per person, 10 and up. It's going to be Saturday, December 11th, 2021, 8 a.m. to noon. or if Greg says it's, pancake time. We thought that might be 6 o'clock, but it's 8 a.m. to noon, which is good, so definitely get your pancakes and, your picture with Santa. This is on Facebook. You probably can't see it, but hey, it's around. I did have one quick, and Tom was nominated for EMT of the Year. So I'm wishing Tom good luck. We won't know until Friday, because Friday he's going down to, hopefully, pick up something, but I don't want to hex him. But good luck there, Tom. We do need to entice more people to join the first aid squad. So Adam, I don't know if you can answer this, but do you have any idea what size the banner is, like the hoedown banner?
No, not off the top of my head. I can check.
If you could find out, because we'd like to look into getting one to say, members and stuff like that. Just have to get an idea of the size. That's all. Thank you. Let's see. Lastly, congratulations to the Pequannock Township Marching Band. We were at MetLife for Nationals this past Saturday. They did phenomenal. I was able to, this is my first year, so I am a newbie, and I know nothing about marching band or music or anything like that. But to see them from August, when we went away to band camp, through last Saturday, it's amazing. It's amazing how these kids, 90 plus of them, from 8th grade through senior, dedicate themselves and put so much time and energy into this. And it's cold, it's rainy, it's long days, and I did not hear one kid complain.
That's awesome.
So, congratulations, Pequannock Marching Band. That's all I have. Thank you, Mayor.
Great. Councilman Cole?
Company One is installing $7,000 worth of cameras. They wanted us to let council know that they're spending their own money for this to protect our equipment. I think that's going to be happening in December.
Where are they installing the cameras?
All over. Outside, inside.
Just around the firehouse?
I believe so.
Have they had a problem?
I think they want to make sure that there is no problem, so.
That'd be a really big thing to drive off with.
I guess
you
they've
for
had
that.
problems with people putting stuff in the dumpster. They want to make sure that, no one's putting stuff in the dumpster. I don't know. They asked me if I would report it. I said,
Sure.
Okay. I was just curious, because I didn't hear of any vandalism or any problems.
They parked a lot of stuff outside. I didn't see it.
Yeah.
It's all inside.
Yeah.
Oh,
But anyway,
I think it's for insurance purposes also, if somebody slips and falls and really wasn't a true slip and fall.
Can't hurt, I guess.
I don't know. They asked me to report it, I reported it. Planning board, as the township manager said, they did pass the master plan ordinance, all the new ordinances, so that went through. They also, on the planning board that night, approved Chilton getting solar carports. To me, they're not carports, they're solar parking lot coverings.
Oh, yeah.
So they're supposed to be meeting with the fire department and both fire departments and the first aid squad, because I guess there's some concern about the height, making sure that they're able to get in. If there is a fire underneath them, what they can do, what they can't do, so.
The only thing I've noticed with those is when it snows and that snow falls off.
This is a different design. It's almost like a check mark, and supposedly there's a drain in the middle where the all drains down into and then it goes into, which, I don't really understand. Supposedly the front there's 2 rows in the front, 4 rows in the back. The front has underground storage for the water that's going to be draining, but the back doesn't. So I guess the back is just going to be dispersed over the parking lot. And if you ask me,
By the east ditch?
that could be
well, that's where it goes anyway.
that could be a slippery situation in the winter. If it melts and freezes, but so that got approved. I do have a question about fair housing. Someone said to me that fair housing went to a lottery. I have not heard that. I was wondering if the town manager has heard anything about that instead of working off of a list.
I don't know if there's been any change. I know since we've had Piazza and Associates, they've operated in a manner that's consistent with the requirements of the state of New Jersey and the affordable housing rules.
I think they may be confused. Pearl Village did a lottery for their new units, and the board decided on that.
Somebody, I guess, relayed that message to them, and they said, no, it's not Earl Village, it's fair housing. So if we can, I knew nothing about it.
I think a lottery system is the proper way to do it today. And they
For
may-
fair
they-
housing?
Yeah, so that may be something that the new consultant has moved to.
But that would have
That
been
is a typical,
That would have been a couple of years ago. That wouldn't have been a new operational change.
correct. It may have been that way for a bit. We'll find out.
The last meeting that I attended for fair housing, they were searching for the list.
Okay.
So that's
We'll
the
check.
only reason why I
Yep.
wasn't sure what was going on there.
We'll check.
And that's all I have.
Okay, my meetings, nobody met this week. Tomorrow is environmental, and next week is library. Well, we're down in Atlantic City, so I'll have to, they still do Zoom, so I'll have to take that meeting.
Are they doing any in-person meeting?
Not yet. So, that's it. The grand opening was great. It was well attended. Patty had a lot of people there, a lot of her friends there, right, John? There was a lot of
A lot of good food, too.
Yeah, the food was good. It was good. She was very nice. We were very happy. And like I said, her daughter's downstairs, so that was fun. Great. Next on the agenda is public comment. If anyone wishes to address the council, please wait to be recognized to come to the microphone and provide your name and address. Come on down.
Are you sure you recognize that guy?
Did I call on you?
Frank Spizzeri, 35 West Franklin. I just want to congratulate Mr. Dreesy here on winning the election.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations.
That's good. That's it. I'm done. Thank you.
Peter, anything? No. Okay. Next on the agenda is minutes for approval, the October 12th regular and special meetings. Are there any comments on these minutes? Is there a motion to approve these minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Second?
I will second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Next on the agenda is a closed session discussion. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 2021-229, authorizing the Township Council to meet in executive session to discuss matters of attorney-client privilege and contract negotiations with Teamster Local Union Number 469?
So moved.
Is there a motion?
Yeah, motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? At this time, the public portion of the media is recessed for closed session.